Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another installment of the weekly update. This is the 20th of October, and it's still insanely hot. It's great. It's usually right before Halloween. They moved it up a week this year, and we've still got the Hurricane Hillary gnats and mosquitoes in. Like, I just watched a thing on YouTube last night about how LA County is like completely overrun by what they call the ankle biter mosquitoes. We are lucky enough to have both. We've got the tiny ankle biter mosquitoes and the giant dangly leg mosquitoes, the ones that like give you West Nile. So it's a pretty awesome dawn and dusk, which are the times when I tend to be filming. So we will see how that shakes out. It's going to cool down soon. I can go back to coursework. Why has there been no coursework this week? Let me tell you. Yesterday it was 104. Like, you know, that's mid-October. It feels like mid-October. What I want to get out of the way firstly is the only things pretty much left over from the last time I ploffered, and I swear somebody inquired about the All-Star Hobby and Jora Bully comps, and I lost the email. Email me again. Baby Clerms are still here. Added to that, King Trekkers just recently tested. Those fake Baja Claws, which have no foams. Foams, no foams. So let's move that around. So 2 with foams, 1 with no foams. And I dug out of the bin some old comp Pitbull growlers. They are not brand new. They're not super worn. They haven't started to age out or anything. I need to make room on the tire rack. It's kind of an agreement I've made with myself because it's the same thing with the rigs. We've got a limited amount of storage space for both tires and rigs. So let me know. Oh yeah. Similarly related, and it goes in line with this, I have a beadlock drawer, and the beadlock drawer will hold a fixed number of beadlocks. So when stuff is getting pulled out, like every once in a while there'll be a set of tires up here that is still mounted on wheels, and that helps take up some space. But when it isn't, I'm running out of space. And I was buying these like they were going out of style because they tended to be super cheap. So I think I have not installed 9 sets of these between deep and regular offset. So I have physically run out of room. So I have a set of white deep, I have a set of gold deep, and I have a set of silver standard offset. If anyone is interested, let me know. Again, same rules apply. You cover shipping, and they're yours. So, somewhere around here, and by somewhere I mean right here, is I found the set of plastic beadlocks. Again, I feel like someone asked me about those, and I don't know, I forgot. I don't know how much of a hot commodity the plastic beadlocks are when there's sets of metal ones on the table. But I don't, and like Jolly Green runs these, so he has 6 wheels. So I'm going to have these 2 extras forever. Let me know on any of this stuff. I don't have the room for it. I don't have the room for any of it. There's barely, I put up the, right up here out of frame, I added pegboard to the side of the tire rack, and it's full of foams. I'm doing it again. Like, if I make more space, I just hoard that space full again. So coming up, let me talk about what's coming up in the next coming week. We should certainly get an installment in the Flanco. Came from the Workbench 21. Flanco is almost done, almost ready to make its trip across the pond. I need to get it tightened up a little bit, and I'm not 100% committed to the rip saws. They are what has worked the best, but I don't know if they're going to be the final. I've got some other options I want to test. Segue. And speaking of testing, coming up at various points in the next, hopefully within the next 7 days. Hopefully within the next 7 days, 2.2 ruptures that are like physically identical. This is not a real rupture. This is an AliExpress rupture. It is completely identical to the genuine article. Wholly unrelated to that, we're doing it again. Look forward to this. Boom Racing makes another go around the track. Max Grapplers, definitely a scale tire, 445 scale tire. That is coming up at some point. 155 Baja Claws. Look how skinny those boys are. This one has not made its go round yet. I am trying to figure out who is going to test these. It's a tough call. It's so skinny. And at the same time, 155 Pitbull Rock Beasts. These are 385s. This might be the smallest tire I've ever tested. We'll see who these go on, and we'll see how those get tested. Those tires are going to get tested. I have options overload right now. I was looking around at the parts bins, and I have most of everything that I need for 5 builds. 5. One of them is the Evil Twin, which are the Air 45 straights that used to be on Rusty. One of them is Clank, which I think I have almost everything for. One of them is the final application of the Tulo. I'm going to pair the Tulo to some Mias axles, the same axles that are on Ratchet. And then a couple of secrets. We're not going to talk about the secrets yet. So I've got too many options. I'm floating on air because Steve is done and I feel unburdened. I just have to box him up. The Flanco 21 will be done very soon. Oh yeah, the Bronco build, the hard body Bronco build. Was that one in the? Do I have 6? It's too many. So I'm trying not to get into that same thing again, where like I didn't finish Steve in a timely enough fashion for myself. So somebody, I don't know, put a carrot on a stick, or just poke me with the stick, and somebody give me some motivation towards what are we at? 24? It came from the workbench 24? What is it came from the workbench 24? Because we have basically 24 through like 29 or so, and I almost ordered another kit. I don't know what's wrong with me, except that I can't stop building them. I cannot stop building them. So give me a prod in one direction of what to build. And other than that, I don't know. I'm trying to get content built up, and it's not working. I can blame whatever, but the real blame falls on just indecision. Like I don't know. I can't. I've got no aim. I'm just bouncing around. I have not. And I mean, I guess not entirely in the build. Channel subscribers sent this in with the axles. I want to say it's a Nightcrawler, right? Losi. From the days of standard hardware, it does have the axles, worm drive axles. I'm really excited to get some parts together for this. It's basically, it's right here. I'm doing the thing where I tell instead of showing. It's this and the axles. You want to talk about, if you've never seen one before, you want to talk about high pinion, because it's worm drive, so it drives down from the top. So look how the pumpkin is big and small at the same time. So I'm really curious and somewhat excited to get this thing put together. I don't know what I'm going to do for like something to cover the top of it, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. It's that's one of those things that I feel like that thing is going to pop up out of nowhere, because I'll just, like how Skeeter got built, I'll just be out of here. I'll be out here and I'm supposed to be doing something else, and instead I'll put that together. So I think I got halfway through mentioning I haven't even figured out what I'm going to drive today, and I don't. I got the brass rings for Blue Sky High, and they're not installed yet, so it won't be Blue Sky High. I've got the body for the Flanco painted, but that's going to be its own episode. And while I was painting it, Erwin, the gentleman who won Ratchet, is getting Flanco, also commissioned me to paint him a body. So here is the creep cab that I did for him. It bears the DNA of Steve himself, because I basically painted them at the same time. And I was really happy with how this came out. And I got to about this point, haven't even pulled the window masks off yet. I got to about this point and was like, you know what? I really like this. There's a Steve feel to it. There's a Daphne feel to it. I don't want to cut too much. I think I'm going to do a little Tamiya, and that's why I ran out of Tamiya clear. And I haven't, the PS55, and I haven't been as impressed with any other clear. So this guy will get to be a little bit of a guinea pig. I have 3 or 4 different either polyurethane or acrylic clears. I need to find a clear that works as well as PS55, because $8 a can to basically do 2 bodies in clear, and if you order it, it takes forever, and I don't want to drive to Hobbytown to get it. I want a clear that I can go and get at the Lowe's, basically, because most of these bodies, I don't have to drive any further than the auto parts store. And that's how I like it. Except Steve, which was all Tamiya. So, I've got projects on projects on projects. We're going to get to them as soon as you guys help me figure out which one to do. So then what we'll do is we'll switch cameras. We'll go from indoor camera to outdoor camera. And I'm going to grab somebody, and we're going to drive somebody around. And you'll find out in the thumbnail who that is, and because it is tradition. So I will meet you outside in what will appear to you to be mere seconds. So as apparently here, no 2 mornings are the same. I get out here about the same time every day, and ordinarily it's a non-slop onslaught of insects in my face, and today they are otherwise occupied. So hey, we're doing all right. A little bit of from the comments here. Why not? I was looking at the racks and I was thinking, we've got some tiny tires coming up. I don't really know how to drive tiny tires. There's something else I also don't know how to drive, which is leafs. And it has been a minute. There was a thick coat of dust on Old Blue and his radio. So I thought, I have a vague and distant memory of someone in the comments saying, whatever happened to that hard body? And then someone else on a short had asked what body this was. And I think I answered. When I hear other YouTubers, and it's usually YouTube channels of a certain size, talk about, we read every comment and we try to respond to as many as we can. Samesies. But remembering who said what and what I responded to and what I didn't, I don't think it can be done. I know I mentioned this before, that I got a heartwarming feeling from, it was a bigger YouTube, and someone was asking them something about. Someone was asking them something about the creation of content and how they go about it. And they were like doing that like daily vlog style installations. And they said, when one is done, it's done and it's dead, and they don't remember it anymore. Because they have to move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And when you're doing something that's unscripted, I particularly understand that. Because if I had to memorize lines, this would get really tedious for me. But I would probably be able to remember things I've said. I know I have stated in the past that someone will ask a question in the comments about something, and I will just stare blankly at the screen and go, did I say that? That's why the best thing ever is when people put the time code, like they mention a time code from when something was said, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. When looking up tires on AliExpress and Amazon, there are an uncomfortable number. Oh, and in case we've all forgotten, the Vanimal is a professional purveyor of angry Lexan noises, because he's a big old QB boy. So I have to look up my own videos on more instances than I would care to admit to be like, did I test that tire? Did I test the real one, or did I test the clone one? Have I tested the real one and the clone one? There's the overlap is starting to expand as to what junk version of a quick view has been tested, and really there was a massive shift with the, and I can never get this right, Romania via AliExpress. When he, and I know he sent it almost tongue-in-cheek, the Mix Racing crawler tire, what would later become known as the Fusk, because Mix Racing has done so badly. They cloned the Hustler, and the clone was nearly as bad as the Hustler. So if the Mix Racing crawler tire, the Fusk, had shown up and been anything other than an abject failure, we would have been pleasantly surprised, because it's generally the other way around. You've got a really good tire, and then you have a tire that's not so good. We tested in fairly close succession the Jetco Conqueror and the Jetco Adventurer. How was the Conqueror so good and the Adventurer so bad? Mix Racing did that in reverse. The clone Hustler was, which I think also on the sidewall just says Mix Racing crawler tire, was so bad. Better than the Hustler only in that it was larger, so the ground clearance worked out a little better. But compound-wise, they appeared to have almost successfully copied one of the worst tire compounds, at least in quick view format, the worst compound that we've encountered. Now, in junk view, the fake Rock Beast XL, whatever they make that out of, is unthinkable. There is more grip in literally anything. Literally anything. There's effectively no grip in those tires at all. These are the stock 1.7s, and these do surprisingly well. The limitation being, and I was reminded of it, oh wait, Vanimal's gonna have to move. Let's see if this works out. Very nice. These work out surprisingly well, but what was refreshed in my mind as I went to put the battery in Old Blue is hard bodies. Am I right? My God, is that body heavy. It has to weigh 2 pounds. It's beautiful. This whole truck is beautiful. Everything about it looks fantastic. But the Marlin might be the ultimate realization of sacrifices for vanity. There's not a lot out here well suited to this guy, but I do get it. Whereas I have said that in neither cycling nor running do I feel like I've ever experienced that, the endorphin, the runner's high, the rider's high, any of that endorphin release. I don't think I've gotten that. I think that part of my brain is, if not dead, then like shriveled down to a very, very small size. Finding glee is few and far between. But I honestly, I've ridden a bicycle in one day 157 miles. And at the end of it, all I could think was, it's over. I've done it. I was so happy that it was over. Like, I didn't have any, like, nothing washed over me. I didn't feel any sort of euphoria other than I don't have to ride a bicycle anymore. Because I woke up the next morning and was like, well, how are we going to ride today? Because we're pretty wrecked from what we did to ourselves yesterday. The driving things that are less capable, like the van who has a very small tire and a very long wheelbase, and let's not try to argue it, you could put the entirety of Old Blue under the van. So his limitations are greater than his strengths. He's not quite on that punch above his weight level as Rusty is. But you do get that rewarding feeling when you do something with a vehicle that's less capable. Old Blue seems like he has stealth mode engaged compared to the Vanimal. The Vanimal is not sneaking up on anyone. And I think that very blown out part of the rock is probably... Vanimal just looks like a blob right now. Let's hope the edit guy can fix that. Let's see if both of these guys can get over the top here. This is my problem. This, in a nutshell, this is my problem, which is when you give me a small tire, I tend to just respond with beans. I'm just gonna blast it. Ooh, there's some three-wheel. Oh, that's nice. It occurred to me while I had the body off of this guy. I haven't had the body off in a minute. Oh, angry ABS noises, they cut different than angry Lexan noises. This guy just has like a 35 turn, either a 35 or a 45 turn, just whatever Injora Surpass $15 Amazon motor. And it is really illuminating of how bad some things are. Well, there goes the other mirror. Oh, what am I just tried to self-right it. You may have seen the rubber rear view mirror fall off, the passenger side mirror. The driver's side mirror fell off long ago. It's out here somewhere. The breakover on the Marlin it'll surprise you. And honestly, it has plenty of drive, just offset by an insanely high. I've never bothered to put Old Blue on scales. I don't even know what he like what his RTR weight is, much less his weight balance, because I've always thought, what difference does it make? I'm not, the Lexan noises. I'm not sure there's anything I could do to get the sprung to unsprung ratio of Old Blue anywhere near like a reasonable number. You can't add that much weight. The wheels could be, what's a heavy one? We've got brass, we've got lead, like tungsten. You could have solid tungsten wheels on Old Blue and he would still be a tippy boy. But look at him over there. Look at him illuminated by the sun in the corner of that frame. He's so pretty. He's so pretty. The ultimate sacrifice for vanity. Oh, you know what? We're leaving him right there like that. We're gonna let Old Blue catch up. These two gents are gonna head over towards the trailing section. Old Blue is a tough one for me as well because whatever turn motor is in there, for low speed, for stuff out here on these rocks, I would like about 10 more turns. But for anything in between, any trailing, any maneuvering, anything, I would like about 10 less turns. So say there's a 45 in there, I'd like a 55 for rock crawling and a 35 for general purpose use. So much like when I can't tell if a score should be an 8.3 or an 8.1, we go with an 8.2. That is where Old Blue's motor lands. Ooh, Old Blue. I have city. Ooh. Oh, that's. See, there's. What's your droop? What's droop? That rear wheel is high, and I think if we could get that corner to pull down, I think I could wrap this around. Maybe I could. Couldn't even get the phrase out of maybe I can wrap this around because I cannot. It is, and this is a 50-cent word at which my wife would furrow her eyebrows. It is antithetical to my RC philosophy. It looks so good. Oh, what we give to look that good. Oh, he's in a hole. Wait, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Oh. See, the van is about the manageable limit of what I can do. The Canyon does, and other folks have said it, and I know we're looking at him right now, but the Canyon needs a hard-bodied rig. But it needs a hard-bodied rig that I can drive like I drive, I guess is the simplest way to put that. Every time I apply steering, throttle, or a combination of the two with this guy, I'm like, it's like I'm free diving. I spend the whole time holding my breath, and that's no way to live. The gnats have found me. I don't. Oh. Did I finish the thought? I have a G2. I have a G2 in the box. Would anyone like to see? Because it would take 10 minutes. Would anyone like to see Old Blue come out, do a little mush about as he is set up exactly, and then just take his old V1 1080 out, put in a 1080 G2, and see if we can perceive any difference at all in smoothness? It'll give more torque to the servo. This is an 8.4 volt servo, so we'd have more steering power. Like, would we be able to maneuver out of this? I mean, that's an AGFRC 32 kg, which for a lot of rigs is not enough, and it's perfect in here. But we'd have more speed and power. If even one person says, I'd like to see that, we'll do the number one and we'll make it so. No! Oh. That's the thing of hard bodies. I felt pretty good for like, I don't know, 0.4 seconds. But I went from woo to dope in an alarming level of speed. It's too much breath holding. I can't withstand the stress of driving Old Blue. And I know they're meant to be. Again, angry ABS noises. Blackjack falls into the same category. Well, there you go. It went straight down. It went straight down. Blackjack is what? It was the wah. I said wah, and you know how you make that shape with your mouth when you make a wah sound? It went straight. Like I know it's mental, but I can feel it. It's back there. Oh, I swallowed that thing whole. Is that assisted suicide insect version? Whew. Blackjack is the same, and I'm gonna weigh, covered my mouth when I said weigh. The body is just too nice. I can't have nice things. Steve is too nice. Many things are too nice. I am more comfortable with things that aren't as nice, and then we can beat them up. And like the Vanimal. he's pretty nice. But for some reason, I'm okay with making the angriest of Lexan noises. He is fun to drive. Like, between the two, I gotta give the edge to Vanimal, because I think Vanimal looks excessively high center of gravity, but he really isn't. He's really low on the inside, and the van body is a feather compared to that Marlin. That Marlin is a brick. I just finished painting Steve and felt like that Phoenix body is so heavy. So apparently what I need to do is just leave the Marlin body on the bench all the time, and whenever I start to feel like anything is heavy, I'll just pick that body up and be like, oh, well, a Phoenix body is actually a feather made of helium. But look at him here in what I would consider to be the roughest terrain that he really kind of likes. I cannot mentally conceive comping something like this thing. It has its strengths, and its strengths lie somewhere outside. In the Venn diagram of strengths, my strengths and the strengths of the Marlin are kind of independent circles. Maybe the outsides of the circles are touching, but that's as close as I'll go. Vanimal he's so great. Oh, I love him so much. I came from a world of full independent suspension, and I was that guy. I had never owned an RC car with a live axle. I'd driven some, your buddy will hand you a controller. Like, I drove a Hornet and whatever. But it was independent suspension at all four corners since I got my first one. So going to crawlers in the live axle was a trip, but I started my journey into crawling on 3-link, 4-link, and got really comfortable with that really fast. So Leafs was, again, Toyota trying to design an engine with push rods, which is something they'd never made. So they had to reverse engineer it, and the old dog might be too old to learn the new tricks, is what I think I'm trying to say. I don't know. He's great. He's great to look at. He's actually surprisingly durable. But were I forced to choose between the two, the Old Blue, the Trailfinder 2, would end up shelving, and we don't do that. We don't do that around these parts. We build them to drive them. And it's getting hot already. We build them to drive them and hope that y'all out there enjoy both processes. The building, the driving, the ranting, the what have you. I don't have a lot of rants this Friday. I had forgotten and then re-remembered. Sunday is Shacktoberfest. God, I hope I mentioned in an installment Shacktoberfest. So Shaq, we all know Shaq. Shaq Diesel, Big Daddy Diesel, does like a haunted house on the Queen Mary, and one of my kids got a targeted ad or something and brought it to me, and I ordered tickets immediately. Sunday, I will be going with my family to Shacktoberfest at the Queen Mary. I don't even know what to expect, but I'm strangely excited about it. So thank you all so much for tuning in on this little sort of aimless, rambling installment of the weekly update. Give me some ideas, comment below. Don't forget that I'm offering up just cost of shipping. My PayPal balance has fallen ridiculously low, and in an effort by them to get you to sign up for other methods of sending money to people, whether it be who's theirs, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, any of those things, when I transfer money from the bank account to PayPal so that I can cover shipping labels because I use ShipStation, it will take 5 business days to transfer that money over, which means sometimes it takes 8 days to transfer money in for shipping labels. It's insane. Technology is not here to help us tear down the walls. Anarchy. Thanks again, everybody. I'm going to find a suitable sunlit spot for a thumbnail, and I'll see you again all very soon. Thank you so much for joining us here in the canyon. We look forward to seeing you again soon. I look forward to getting back to coursework. I look forward to the Shacktoberfest. I look forward to getting in on a build. This might be a guise, but it might also be optimism. I can't even tell. I'll see you all in the next one, everybody. Now let's see if we can do the out of frame without rolling out. Hey, yeah, look at us go.